What up, y'all? Welcome back to the lounge. This next video I'm finna bring to y'all is comparing two of the best safeties to ever do it, and Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu. I'm a fan of both of these guys. My favorite safety of all time has to be Sean Taylor, but you know, that's like, for what it's worth, pulling straws or whatever. Like, if you get any of these guys, you lucky. You got a Hall of Famer. But let's check out this video.
Over the last decade, two players have dominated the NFL and set a new standard at their position.
Reggie, you got help! Hey, take it to another level, right?
No, for a change, we're not talking about Brady and Manning. Today, our focus is on Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu.
And it is picked off by Troy Polamalu.
Throws down the middle, intercepted Ed Reed.
Ed Reed is one of the great safeties in the game.
Ed and Troy are in the latter stages of their careers, but NFL head coaches who still have to face them remain in awe of these two safeties.
When you coach young safeties and you go to the combine, you interview these guys coming out of college, you know, who do you emulate? Who do you look, you know, who do you pattern your game after? And they always say Troy, and they say Ed.
Yeah! Get off the field!
And when you go to look at the next draft class and so forth, we're looking for the next Troy Polamalu or Ed Reed.
Boy, you're MVP, boy. You're a beast out there.
Tom Brady knows what it's like to be an MVP. So does Peyton Manning. If you're going to beat them, you have to stop them.
Touchdown. Great job by Tom Brady.
The same can be said for Ed and Troy.
Well, I think there's a great comparison. I think the focal point of a lot of teams is the quarterback. It's the nature of our game. And when you play the game as well as Tom Brady and Peyton Manning have played it, it's easy to see why they've gotten all the attention they've gotten. But when you talk about Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu, they've done the same thing for their teams, just in a different way.
Throws it over the middle of the field. The pass is juggled and incomplete.
No.
Troy Polamalu intercepted. What a catch. He kept his hand underneath. And another great interception from this marvelous safety.
Face mask, man! What's up, boy?
To all my football players out there, keep your motherfucking head on the swivel. Woo-wee! I'm trying not to go back too much, but oh my.
What's up, boy? Oh my goodness!
Best safety in the history of the game. I don't think it's close.
Ed Reed really is, to me, the most complete and best safety that I've ever seen in the National Football League.
He got fear in his heart. He got fear in his heart. I can smell it. If they catch the ball, hit him hard, dog. They soft, man. They soft. They don't want physical football. They don't want physical football. Keep them going. Keep them going. Keep them going. Hey, James Brown, want no jacket? James Brown, bad boy, though.
One of the greatest plays I ever saw him make was against Manning, where he lined up on the weak side of the formation, and on the snap of the ball, he turned and ran to the middle of the field like he was going to play in the middle of the field. And of course, you know, Manning read that and came back and threw the go back to the X. And Reed knew that when he went to the middle of the field that Peyton would come back to the X. So he ran to the middle of the field, but without even looking at the quarterback, he just turned and wheeled before he got to the hash mark, and just knew that was going to be the play, and ran over the sideline and intercepted it. I mean, it's just so obvious when he's reading the quarterback.
Yeah.
Those receivers will run right past him, and he never flinches.
Yeah.
He doesn't even acknowledge him, and he's just Reed, the quarterback.
Yeah. He's always moving.
Hey, man, y'all had us flustered, man. All that moving and stuff.
Yeah, man.
He's on the quarterback. He's on him. Doesn't even take this Vincent Jackson running right past him.
Unbelievable.
Let's get him, man. He put it in the air. Let's make him pay. Now, Ed Reed. Watch Ed Reed. No, don't throw it.
Anderson steps the throw. It's intercepted. Ed Reed's got it at the 20. Ed Reed, pick 6.
Since he was drafted out of Miami in 2002, Reed has gained the most interception return yards in NFL history.
Throws it downfield, and Ed Reed picks it off in the end zone.
Get out.
Now he's bringing it out. Here he comes.
Oh, God. Dang it, man.
He's at the 20. Ed Reed at the 30. He's going to go.
Go in.
He's got one jet to beat.
Not only would he pick it, he'd run it for a touchdown.
With him, it was never about getting the ball. It was about scoring with the ball in his hands.
Cobb throws, end zone intercepted. Ed Reed's got it. 10-yard line coming back. He gets by Cobb at the 30-yard line. Sheds a tackle at midfield. He's down the Eagle sideline. One man to beat. Cuts back at the 20. He's at the 10. 5. Touchdown. Ed Reed covers the length of the field. And you better believe the hay's in the barn now.
But what makes Reed extra special is how he contributes in other areas of the game. Reed is the first player in league history to return an interception, a fumble, a punt, and a blocked punt for a touchdown.
Watch the ball.
Go block it.
Yeah, watch the ball quick.
You know, a lot of people forget how good Ed Reed was as a punt rusher. I personally always felt that if he had been on my team, I don't think I would have ever taken him off the punt return team. I would have always left him out there on the end to rush the punter because he's such a threat and he's so dynamic out there blocking punts for touchdowns.
Just an unbelievable play again. Ed Reed coming up with the big play. This guy is a complete football player.
While Baltimore's best ball hawk ever deserves plenty of praise, he isn't the only safety who is head and shoulders above the rest.
Hi, Mr. Vaney. This is Troy Polamalu from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, I am the guy with big hair. Anyway, I'm calling to tell you that Head & Shoulders now has 4 shampoos just for men. Right. I haven't cut my hair for 10 years.
In those 10 years, the guy with the big hair has been the guy making the big plays in Pittsburgh.
Right when you need a big play, who shows up? Number 43.
I'll never forget when Troy swiped the ball in Baltimore on the blitz and on their sideline. Somebody said, how can you not know where the hair is?
Flacco is going to be hit by Polamalu. The ball's out.
You know, I always say, well, he plays with his hair on fire, you know, that's the truth. And look at that hair.
Across midfield and dragged down by Larry Johnson from behind. He grabbed him by his hair.
He's got the hair.
Troy's one of those guys that you're the opposing, offensive coordinator, and those guys, they're sitting there, and the first guy they're talking about is, okay, what are we going to do to take care of, a guy with all the hair hanging out of the back of his helmet?
Take care of Polamalu off the edge.
It's always a challenge when you prepare. Matter of fact, we found a big long wig and put it under a couple of our players on the practice field, just so we knew where Troy was all the time.
They want to bring Polamalu. He's down there.
Troy is extremely fast and extraordinarily explosive. You see him just flash across the screen, take off out of coverage to go make a play.
Goes to the wraparound draw, and great tackle. Flying in there is Polamalu.
I love Troy, and I can still remember going to his pro day at Southern Cal. They had this low ceiling. My first job was at USC as a graduate assistant. So they had the vertex, the thing they, test the guys for the vertical. They took one of the tiles out in the roof. And all I remember was Troy jumping up and disappearing, basically, going through, and I didn't think it was going to ever come down, and they yell out 44 inches, and the place is going nuts.
What a play by Troy Polamalu!
There's one play, and it's one of the most athletic plays I've ever seen. Troy was working across the field and got blocked and spun around and tackled the ball carrier with his back.
Yeah, it was a thing of beauty.
was really impressive.
Alert Polamalu over the top.
You know, it's rare that when you look across there and you're like, man, what a great player. Like Polamalu, it's like, man, I wish he was on our team. You know, that's the kind of guy he is.
Respect to those two legends, man. Shit. Ed Reed, Troy, Sean Taylor, fucking Atwater. I love them type of safeties. Ronnie Lott, players that change the game, that hit you, that score with it. I respect them type of safeties. Salute. Let me know your favorite type of safety. Peace.
Over the last decade, two players have dominated the NFL.